Welcome to the Iferia TechCast, where we bring you all things science, engineering, technology, and innovation. I'm your host, Ezekiel Iferia, and today we are joined by Alain Cohen, a senior executive with over 20 years of experience leading multinational organizations in logistics, supply chain, and AI-driven operational excellence. He's managed profit centers up to 200 million euros, led teams of 300 plus people, and executed large-scale transformations, including digitalization, AI integration, and post-acquisition restructuring. He doesn't just talk about theory, he's been in the trenches making it work. So, Ali and I am truly excited to welcome you to the show, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us here today.
You're welcome, Ezekiel. Thank you for welcoming me on board as well.
Oh, it's a pleasure to welcome you here, Arlene. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's get things started. You've led multinational organizations with profit centers up to 200 million euros and teams of 300 plus people. So, what's the single biggest difference, between managing a small operation and scaling to that size?
I've always believed that small is beautiful. And as a matter of fact, I joined big organizations because of mergers and acquisitions. And initially, I should say my DNA was more shaped in a middle-sized organization. So I grew because of business growth, organic growth, and also because my middle-sized company initially was taken over by a bigger organization. But my DNA and how I manage people, I try to manage people from 10 to 100 the same way, with the difference that when you are managing a large organization, you need to rely on middle management, and you need to have also well engaged and well aligned middle managers. And I believe very much in the combination of bottom up and top down discussions. Indeed, in bigger organization, it goes through middle management organization as well. But in both cases, we need to go, we need a lot of proximity, we need a lot of communication, both direction. And ultimately, I don't see that much difference. Perhaps in bigger organization, you need to be more structured. So, but you can be also structured in smaller organization. That helps to be more efficient as well. So I cannot say, for me, the size is not a trigger, is not, for me, the size is not an issue. It's not a topic, really.
Mm,
And small is beautiful. Let's remember that. In terms of business, small is beautiful. And as you said, most of my career was done in the transport and logistics, which is service activity. Service means that to be close with customers' expectations, with customer answering to customer challenges, and you must do it the same way as a service provider. You must do it the same way as you are a small company and as you are a big organization. It's human business at the end. Okay, it's people business at the end.
all right, Aline, that was an insightful response. So, you've been at the forefront of applying AI and automation to logistics and supply chain. So, what's a real use case where AI actually moved the needle? Not just theory, but a specific operational problem you solved.
During all my career, at least since the early 2000s, I moved from being a service provider in freight forwarding. I moved to managing outsourced operations for my customers. So it means that customers, instead of providing or asking a service, they were asking me to organize all their management flows as if I was internal. That's the definition of outsource. So in that respect, I started to work in a structured manner on continuous improvement topics. And the most difficult I found since the 2000 was to really understand the reality. Not what the real should be, but what the reality is, definitely. And more recently, with one of my colleagues, we have developed a AI platform called Famla AI in order to help us to boost discovering the reality through AI agents interviews in order really to understand what is the reality of a process through the different parties. And this is why we have created Famla AI and used the artificial intelligence in order to boost the mapping of the processes and the real discovery of the reality. And I can tell you, perhaps I explain not so well like that, but that is making a lot of difference, because you can't imagine how difficult it is for an organization to understand the real processes. Not the processes that should be rolled out, but how they are definitely rolled out, understood, applied by the different parties involved in this process. And through these AI agents and through the interviews and the smart questions supported by the AI, we are boosting really the time needed in order to understand the processes and then to understand what are the real defects, where are the bottlenecks, for instance, where are the real issues from the different parties, and to boost also the analysis for finding the real improvement actions. So that's a very concrete usage of AI today applied to a real issue that I've been facing for the last 25 years in my role when taking over new challenges with customers and building continuous improvement projects and so on.
You also practice Lean Six Sigma. So how does Lean Six Sigma still apply in an AI-driven world?
It is exactly that. I mean, when you start a DMAIC Lean Six Sigma project, the improvement project, you are following the DMAIC steps, right? Define, measure, analysis, improvement, and control phases. That's the basic of the Lean Six Sigma continuous improvement methodology. There are other methodologies around Lean Six Sigma, but as far as improving a situation or as far as improvement projects are concerned, the MAIC methodology is the basic methodology applied. And since the early 2000s, as I said, I started my continuous improvement project with the define phase. And the define phase, you start the project with the define phase, and already at this phase, you start having issues in order to really understand what's going on, what is really the as-is situation. It's very concrete, very concretely speaking. For instance, you need to gather all the parties involved in the process. As of today, as you know, in companies, everybody is really overwhelmed, is overoccupied, and it's already an issue to find people ready at the same time and fully ready in order to have them in the same room and to have a deep discussion around the situation. thanks to AI and collaborative platforms such as Famla AI, we are starting the define phase with having these asynchronized interviews managed by AI with really smart questions in order to explore what are the real steps and the issues and the process. So that's a very concrete application of AI in a Lean Six Sigma approach.
You've led post-acquisition restructuring and digital transformations. So what's the most common reason transformations fail?
I think by a real lack of the as-is situation, of the reality of the existing. If you are not understanding what's the reality of the existing, indeed, you cannot make a smart analysis of what's going wrong, and then you cannot make a smart improvement plan. It's if the foundation are not solid in a building, whatever you build on top of the foundation is weak, right? So in a continuous or in an improvement project, it's nearly the same. If your as-is situation is not well known, well explored, then all what's going on afterwards is deviating, is different. So I think most of the project failed because of a lack of understanding of the existing, but there are many reasons. Also because of a lack of sponsorship in companies, because sometimes it's related to transformation. So you need to have a very strong transformation project within the company. In the contrary, where I have really experienced strong and smart transformation programs, they were all sponsored by the highest level in the company. It was really a real project within the company with the sponsor from all steps in the management. So lack of sponsorship can be also a reason of failure, lack of understanding of the existing, lack of availability of the teams, and the teams are not available if they are not being freed up, and they are not being freed up if there is a lack of sense of urgency or sense of importance in the company. So where the reason why the sponsorship is really important. A transformation program, a digitization program is really a program that is successful when you have everybody on board. If you have people working in silos, having different objectives, different goals, it cannot succeed. So it needs to be a real company project with real, again, in terms of communication and engagement, it's again a combination of top down and bottom up engagements, discussions, communications. It's
All right, so Alain, what's the biggest misconception that executives have about AI today? What do they think AI will solve that it actually won't? And on the other hand, what are they probably ignoring that it could solve?
there are a lot of AI is everybody is talking about AI today. AI is like AI is transforming our lives. So we need to move through and we need to use AI. But what is the objective? Why AI? What AI for? And I think the biggest mistake that I see today is that, again, weak definitions of the objectives, of the goals. If you don't know if you don't know where you want to go, you can get the nicest compass, the nicest tools, navigating tools that are existing, you are going nowhere. So AI is the same. AI is absolutely a must today in terms of technology, but for doing what? What are the objectives? So again, and it's also related to your previous question. If you have no common objectives in a company, if you have no common program in a company, how do you get people on board? Having people using AI, okay, is nice, but for doing what? And what type of AI? I mean, with what type of data? Because, data can be rubbish in, rubbish out. So also AI needs data, needs prompts, needs informations, needs numbers. So if you rubbish in, you rubbish out. So you need to have clean data, robust data that you are using,
Mhm.
a nice process to do it for reaching objectives that make sense. So for me, AI, as I said, is like a compass, is like a navigating tool. You need to understand and to know where you want to go. Then you apply the tools, the navigating tools, to reach your goal, to reach your destination. And AI won't never replace the objectives of the business. They will help, they will boost, they will improve your productivity. For sure, you will be more efficient and faster. However, you need to define what you want to do, where you want to go, and you still need to manage your business, right? AI will not manage the business instead of people.
So here's one I like to ask majority of my guests, Alan. So for you, after 20 plus years leading complex operations and AI transformations, what does innovation in operational excellence mean to you now?
While most of the innovations today are to engage AI in operation excellence programs in order to help people for faster analysis, also to have a AI as a sparring partner in order to suggest also some improvement plans. But that really definitely needs to be reviewed by the experts, by the people who really know. But yeah, as of today, most of the innovation I see in the operational excellence programs are all related to engagement of AI. Again, the reason why it is so important to have clear objectives, clear goals, and a clear strategy how to onboard AI in our process, in our operations.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Lastly, for our listeners who actually want to learn more about your work, connect or just follow your perspective on AI and operational leadership, where is the best place for them to go start?
Well, I would be really happy to exchange with everyone through either I'm contacted by emails. As you can see here on my name and company name, it's very easy. My email is Alain, A-L-A-I, okay, Alain Cohen at famla.ai, or contact at famla, Famla, .ai. And also you can also have a look at Famla activity on famla.com. That's our website. And because our famla.ai is the platform where you can test the artificial intelligence program. But the presentation of the activity is on www.famla.com. That's the presentation of the activity. You can also find us very easily on the LinkedIn, and we'll be very, very happy to pursue the exchanges and introduce our very concrete solution to everyone who will be interested. And our solution is very much plug and play. So there is very little effort to onboard it. And I would really suggest to anyone who is at a stage of exploring a new process or exploring an existing situation to check with what Famla can do. And again, we'll be happy to offer the credits, the free credits, in order to test and to see how relevant is our solution in a real case scenario.
Alain, it has been such an insightful conversation with you here today, and I am truly excited having you as a guest on the show. Thank you very much for taking the
Thanks,
time to join us.
thanks, Ezekiel. Thank you very much.